Hey guys, nothing gets my testicles more in a knot than when I hear some atheist wannabe truther who knows nothing about nothing, and they want to be like, oh well, you believe in astrology or you believe in the earth, water, fire, and air as the main elements. That sounds like some Captain America bullshit. I have to, shove truth down their face, and I got to do it with fashion and style. And just about every day, I'm confronted if I open my big mouth or I get into a discussion that I shouldn't be getting into, either on the internet or in person. But, like I said, because of scientism, the four basic elements, they were changed. All right, the element of earth became carbon. Element of water became hydrogen. Fire became nitrogen. Air became oxygen. All right, one thing I want to mention is that the word pisculi, besides sheol, school comes from pisculi. Pisculi means fish. Peixe, pescado, pesca, Pisces, list goes on. But that means fish, all right? Fish swim in schools. Our children and us, we go to school. To be schooled has a negative connotation, all right? Well, elementary school is basically you're being schooled on the elements. You're being schooled on your elements. If you don't know your elements, you don't know yourself. You don't know thyself. By taking this away from us, elementary schools pretty much means that we've been schooled in our elements and any true divine ancient alchemical wisdom. Because the four elements make up the quadruplicity of our zodiacal wheel. The arc, the rota. This completes our sine wave, which completes us. It's very simple, very straight to the point. I mean, they make things so complex, gives you a headache, and it's not that complex. It can be if you want to get really deep into it, but to start things off, it doesn't have to be. Okay, well, let me take you real quick through the wheel. This is my chart right here. Let's see. Well, if we're going to start at Aries, traditionally we start at Aries. I'm a Libra ascendant, all right? 3 degrees Libra ascendant, but let's start at Aries, okay? Well, let's go to the first mutable sign, Taurus, Gemini. So, you have Gemini. Gemini is an air sign, ruled by Mercury. It's a mutable, cadent mutable. All right, so this would be the cardinal. This would be fixed, stubborn, solid, fixed. Cardinal, fire, initiator. This is fixed earth. This is a mutable air. Why mutable? Because it's mutating. This little quadrant right here is starting to get old and die or mutate. The energy is dividing and mutating because it's mutating from air into water. If you look at a humidifier, what are you doing? You're sucking out the air, turning it into, you're getting water out of the air. All right? It's like an evaporation process, but you're getting water out of it. So that's basically what's happening. The next mutable sign is also another Mercury based. Mercury is like your quicksilver. It's bipolar. All right, so it's got to have to be, mutable. So another mutable sign is your more mature, more complex Mercury. They're both complex, but this is, I guess, a little bit more mature. This is an earth sign. It's a mutable earth. That was mutable air. This is mutable earth. All right, mutable earth. And what's it becoming? It's becoming an air sign. Pick up dirt. Rub it in your hands. Blow it. You get little dirt dust particles. Most of it evaporated into the air. and some of it will fall down to the ground. That's mutable earth turning into dust or air. Your next mutable sign is mutable fire, and this is becoming Capricornian earth. Sagittarius, fire sign, mutable fire, becoming earth. Think about electricity, that charge of electricity that hits the earth. Presenting this video right now, this is based on a fire element. Mutable, it's basically running through the circuits, and it's becoming, well, because my phone's plugged in my charger actually, but yeah, there you go. So this is mutable earth. I'm getting some type of materialization from a fire principle that's mutable. All right, it's not like a principle of fire that's burning on a candle or an incense. No, but it is a form of fire. And the very complex one would be the very end. Mutable water, the end of the scale, Pisces, becoming Aries, the end going to the beginning. Huge transformation, very complex. This is like the meaning of life. This is when you die and then you pick up in your next life. All right, so mutable water becoming cardinal fire, Aries. That's very complex. You can say, well, the watery substance could be the oil in your body, the Christos oil, becoming the fire of the mystic now. Okay? That's just some of the explanation of the movements of the energy of the elements. Everything's always moving. Moving. All energy flows. You can't trap energy. It's always got to flow. But those are the elements. Those are the elements in my chart. On my next video, I want to break down myself. I want to break down every single house of myself and explain, in my own fashion, my own style, how I will read my chart to you guys. But until then, elementals, okay? Certain elementals of the earth are called gnomes. It comes from the Greek word genomus, which means earth dweller. Okay? Now, let's see. Undines represent water, the water element. Now, some of these are very disputable, whether they exist or not. But there is enough evidence in the occult world and by many, many scholars in the occult world that say they do exist. All right? And the fire one is salamanders or the djinn, and the air would be the sylphs. But listen, the four elements, they basically comprise the four seasons, the four directions, the four cardinal points, the cross, the wheel, the swastika. Part of those elements too. You have I don't want to get it twisted, but the incubus and the succubus, they're not considered elementals, okay? I've actually had experiences with succubuses, and I'm going to get into that. But let me tell you, incubus and succubuses, okay? Now, they are not considered elementals. What are they? They're like a parasitic creature. They're subsisting on a low frequency. All right? Dark, dangerous, service to self, thought forms. A service to self thought form is an egregore. Okay? Egregores can attach to evil thoughts and evil emotions of the astral body. Service to self demons, service to self entities, thought forms in the collective or in the astral body. All right? They're the offsprings of the collective imagination. They hover in the ether sometimes surrounding, let's say, drug dens, whorehouses, casinos, gang dens, flop houses, places like that where there's low vibratory people. And these are basically energy vampires, the incubus and the succubus. All right, the incubus is, they say it's like a type of shadow being or ethereal being that will get on top of you or rape women in their sleep or kind of press on your chest when you're sleeping, cause a little sleep paralysis. And the succubus is the woman entity that does the same thing to men. Sometimes steals your sperm in your sleep. I'm sure a lot of you guys have experience with this too. Now, these are energy vampires, and they are also vice initiators. All right? Healthy, strong spiritual people become impenetrable, like a castle, and they're shielded from the incubus and succubus. They're like their chakras become shielded. You have to learn how to shield your chakras. Okay? Become illuminated by truth, not your lower impulses. It's very important. Let me see. So much I wanted to talk about. Okay. It goes into the Hermetic law of correspondence. Basically, what I think everyone should know is that we are going to war in the realm of air and fire. Fire and air. Long before it gets down and trickles down and recedes down to the earth and water elements. All right? We are at war with principalities and powers. Well, what is air represent? Air represents your thoughts, your mentality, your thinking, your nature of thinking, your Mercurian thought, your sharpness. That's why it represents swords in the tarot cards. And by the way, whether you want to call them the Illuminati, the elites, whatever you want to call them, they do a lot of things to steal our energy. A lot. One thing I might mention, there's a black box. There's a black box in the back of movie theaters. And this has been quoted by quite a few of the elites and quite a few of ex-members of Illuminati, ex-members of Freemasonry, people that spoke out. Well, here's this black box in the back of movie theaters. When you go to a blockbuster movie, you are affected in major ways. You have all types of emotions, from high stress and fear, anxiety, shock, excitement, all types of energy and emotions flowing through you. Well, the elites, they lust after this adrenaline. This black box traps energies and egregores. And these egregores are extremely strong. And this is what they lust for. Matter of fact, they lust for adrenachrome. I know a lot of you guys watch Fear and Loathing, when Johnny Depp wanted to chew on that kidney to get the adrenachrome, correct? Well, that's what they wanted. They wanted to freaking get the adrenachrome from the kidney. And also, listen, when a lot of these sick fucks, these Pizzagate devils, what they do is they torture their victims first. They torture little kids. They torture human beings. They torture anyone. Because that kicks up the Kundalini energy and it makes it rise up the spine. And then what happens? They get adrenaline pumped into their blood. They end up drinking the blood of the victims, sometimes cannibalizing little kids, because they get a transcendental high off of their blood. They get high off